About 5 years ago, I decided to take out one of these flowering crab apples in this row you see here. We've got spring snow and red splendor crabs intermingled. Look at the blooms on these things. But what I wanted to do was create something a little bit more different and unique in here. So I planted a variety of different conifers. But the time has come now where these spring snows that you see on each side, especially the one on the left, they're starting to encroach for space. And I knew that time was going to come. So the goal today, we're going to start by taking up some of the lower branches on this spring snow, and then we're going to have to go after some of the upper ones as well. I think my biggest concern or challenge is I want to keep this somewhat symmetrical, where the spring snow crabs look uniform. Luckily, I think this tree is just a little bit smaller, so we're going to be able to pull that off. But this is going to become an annual event now, I think, where we're going to have to keep pruning back some of these branches. The other thing we're going to have to do too is we may have to start pruning some of these different conifers. This is a Troutman juniper, and we've done that with another one up in our front area. I wanted to keep this one a little bit more natural, but we'll see what happens. So let's go ahead and get started on pruning up some of these lower branches. It's always a good idea to remove the pressure on larger branches. Cut it out about 18 inches. And then you can go in and make your final cut when there's no weight on that trunk. You can see already just taking off 2 of the branches has really opened it up for this avatar spruce on the left, and then this smoke bush, this royal purple smoke bush. That's probably the level we're going to be looking at as we work our way around the tree. Looks like we'll be going up about 3 to 4 feet from this lower area, and we may or may not have to take out some of these main ones. I'll start with some of the smaller twigs and work my way up the tree. And once we get that cleaned up, a little bit more space, then it becomes a little bit easier to know which main branch you want to take off. Here's those stubs I'm talking about where I cut out further, and then we'll come in and we'll do a nice, perfect clean cut between that collar ridge. It's important to stay outside that on the top and the bottom. We've got a small chainsaw, but I like to start with the handsaw, especially when there's this many little branches to contend with. This is a good time to do the pruning. We're in the late part of September here, first part of fall starting. This will give these branches enough time for that wound to seal itself off. So you can see we're pretty close on this side. We're going to take off one more lower branch, and then we'll come over to the other side, see if we can't balance it out. We're going to take out one more main lower branch right here, make that 2. It's going to look a little bare at first, something to get used to, but we'll just keep whittling away, working our way up. I haven't mentioned yet that the spring snow flowering crab is a sterile tree, which makes it a good choice if you're looking for a flowering tree but would like to avoid any fruit, compared to this red splendor flowering crab right next to us, which has an abundance of these red fruits you see here. The fruit's persistent on the tree well into the winter, making it a great choice if you're looking to provide food for birds and other wildlife. It's also one of my favorite trees because of the winter interest it provides. Look at that beautiful contrast next to that fresh white snow. Last fall we pruned up these lower branches as well, as it had become almost impossible to mow under. Wow, just walking up on that, yeah, that opened up a lot more light. This is the one area that we're going to go up and we're going to do just a little bit more on the outer branches to bring that back into balance. So let's get a few of those branches right up here. See if we can give our Gotelli spruce and our Troutman just a little more breathing room. If you're interested in some of the conifers we've mentioned here or others that have caught your eye, I'll put a few links in the description below highlighting some of the videos that take a closer look at many of the conifers we have growing here and elsewhere in our gardens. Quick, get some of these branches out of the way before we take one final look. Then we'll get started on that next spring snow, see if we can match up those lower trunks and the height on those branches. We shouldn't have to take off quite as many main branches on this tree. It's a little bit smaller, so we're going to focus more on a lot of the smaller branches, about the size of your finger, and work our way up just to expose some of that ornamental trunkage, and we'll get about the same effect as we got on the other tree. I knew I was going to have some mixed feelings on how this turned out, but overall I think we accomplished our goals. We've lifted up those lower branches and got rid of some of the upper ones crowding those conifers, but I'll let you be the judge. Hey, thanks for watching Garden Hike. I appreciate it. We'll see you again soon, next video.